What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we are talking about the latest from ILNP. I have their Santa's Workshop collection for winter 2025. Now if you haven't heard of ILNP before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in the US, and all of their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They're vegan, meaning they do not use any animal derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So we actually have 6 new polishes coming out this Friday. We have a variety of different finishes. We've got shimmers, we've got crellies, we even have a magnetic shade. And the interesting thing about this collection is that we actually have 3 new green nail polishes, which is a very pleasant surprise. If you know me, you know I love green. It's definitely not a color that people seem to stray towards in nail polish, but I love it. So I was very excited about this. But yeah, I gotta admit, I had a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions whilst watching these. So let me just get into the swatches, then we can talk a little bit more about my thoughts on them and why I was experiencing these mixed emotions, and then we can talk about pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I'm using the ILNP base coat. And we'll start off with Secret Santa, which is the classic red shimmer of the collection. It's definitely got that gorgeous, sparkly, Christmassy vibe to it. And what I really love about this and ILNP in general is that their shimmers tend to have little irregular flakies instead of that very fine shimmer that you normally see in more mainstream polishes. This one gave me perfect coverage in 2 coats. It looks absolutely stunning. It's so sparkly. I love the way the light catches it, and I feel like this is going to be very pretty with a matte top coat too. For some reason, I just love sparkly reds with a matte top coat around this time of year. Next up, we have North Pole, and this one is an interesting one. I will say in the bottle, I originally thought that this was going to be a crelly type polish, and when I applied the first coat, it was incredibly sheer, and at first I was like, wow, I hate this, but then I was looking at it and I was like, wait, I actually kind of love this. So as I applied it more, I could get a little bit more coverage. It's definitely a very sheer, milky base to it, and it is totally packed with very delicate white, silver, and red flecks, and I honestly think it looks really cool no matter how many coats you do. I think I was able to get the best opacity, of course, in 3 coats. You could still see the visible nail line, but it ended up giving really beautiful coverage. It looks very delicate. It kind of reminds me of like a snow globe, and I ended up really liking it. So I'm glad I gave it a shot because at first I was not feeling this one. And then we have the shade Toyland, and this one I knew I was going to love because I love ILNP crellies, and this one is just the perfect winter holiday vibe. We have this stunning, super light minty base color, and then within it we've got red and green teeny tiny flecks, and it's just such a beautiful, delicate look. I always love when they create this type of polish, especially for holidays, because for some reason this sort of funfetti look to me is just so festive, and I think this one is just really beautiful. I did end up needing 3 coats for full coverage, but I was totally fine with that because it is a very thin formula, and I feel that way about ILNP in general, so I really never take issue with 3 coaters for ILNP. Next up, we have the shade Unwrapped, and I don't know why I keep on referring to this one as a green because it's very much a teal kind of color, so I don't know why I said there are 3 greens, and I keep saying it in the intro and outro because this is more of a blue shade, but this one is Unwrapped, and like I said, it's this teal jelly, and we've got some hollow flakes running throughout. Now, this one in 2 coats, it wasn't patchy at all, but I feel like it was very sparse, and you could still very much see the visible nail line. I ended up liking the way it looked in 3 coats, and I do think that this is a very pretty shade, but I will say I do think this is the weakest of the collection. It doesn't really give me as much of a festive vibe as the other colors, and I do think that this could have been a fall shade. It doesn't really scream winter to me, but that being said, I do really enjoy their sheer jelly hollow polishes, so I did still enjoy this one. And then we have the shade Noel, which in the bottle I thought was actually going to be very similar to Unwrapped, but it ended up being a totally different vibe. This one is a really deep forest green, and it is again a sheer jelly, but this one is totally packed with a rainbow of metallic flecks. And this was another one that I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but once I started applying it, I immediately fell in love because this is the true festive Christmas tree polish. It literally looks like a Christmas tree with all of the lights and ornaments on it, and I think it's so adorable. I just don't have anything like this. I feel like it's different from a hollow jelly because you actually see all the different colors at all times. I think there's also a little hollow sparkle in here, but just the rainbow of flecks make it so fun. And then last but definitely not least, we have the shade Reindeer Crossing, and this one is a beautiful light brown magnetic polish. So we've got this white magnetic shimmer running throughout. We also have some really gorgeous golden flakes running throughout, and we also have a little hollow sparkle running throughout. Now, this one was a little bit on the sheer side, but I ended up doing my usual, which is 2 coats for full opacity and then doing a final 3rd coat to magnetize. So first I'm going to show you what it looked like in the cat eye style, and I ended up really loving this. I think the color is absolutely stunning. It reminds me of another ILNP metallic that I love, but this one has the added golden and hollow flecks in there, so it just feels like a little bit more festive, fun kind of vibe. And then of course I had to do the velvet style with the horseshoe magnet, which by the way, ILNP does sell this type of magnet, and I have to say I thought this was absolutely gorgeous as well. The more I use the horseshoe magnet, the more I fall in love with it. I think it's just so beautiful and it gives such an interesting effect, and this truly looks like a reindeer color. Like, it's just absolutely perfect. I love the way that the color shifts around as I move my nail, and I think it's absolutely stunning. And here's all the polishes together, and my goodness, can we just take a moment to appreciate this color story, because these colors all together are absolutely beautiful. Even the shade Unwrapped, which I feel like I said, I really enjoyed it, but it is my least favorite of the collection. I think paired with the others in the set looks so absolutely beautiful. I cannot get enough of them all side by side, which is really interesting because I usually strongly prefer when ILNP does collections that's just one finish in a bunch of different colors, and I feel like it's a lot more cohesive that way. But something about this color story and all the different finishes just feels so perfectly festive for the winter holidays, especially Christmas, of course, and I just think it looks so fun. I even want to wear all of these colors together, which is very unusual for me because I do like to wear the same finish when I do Skittle manicures where each nail is a different color. So I thought that was really fun. They did a really incredible job here, and of course, this being the first Christmassy collection I'm reviewing for the year, this has made me very excited for the season. So yeah, let's talk about these a little bit more. So yeah, those are the polishes, and like I said, I had a little bit of like an emotional roller coaster swatching these. When I first saw them in the promo images, I thought they were absolutely stunning, but when I first started applying them, the majority of them on the first coat I was really just not impressed with, and I thought that they were going to take a lot to get fully opaque. But then once I reached the final coat, I ended up really loving these. So I feel like they're just perfect Christmassy vibes. It's definitely getting me into my seasonal feelings. I usually prefer the collections from ILNP that have one finish and then just have different colors in that finish, but I will say I think they did a really good job making this very cohesive. I feel like I can see this working very well for a Skittle manicure where each nail is a different color, just because the theme works very well, and I think that having those 3 greens specifically really ties it together nicely. And one thing about ILNP that I think they just are incredible at is doing those teeny tiny little flecks in their polishes. I feel like their flecks are just a little bit more delicate than any other brand I use, so it always feels a little bit more elegant and elevated to me, and I think this collection is no exception. All the little flakies in there are absolutely stunning. So now let's get into pricing and availability. Like I said, these polishes come out on Friday. They come in the usual 12 milliliter bottles. They have what I like to call a medium wide flat brush with a straight tip, and they retail for $12.50 USD each. However, if you get them during the pre-order, you do get $1 off per polish. So right now they are going to be $11.50 USD each. So I'm going to link that down below. You can check them out if you're interested, but I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of the 3 greens, especially those 2 jellies that are very similar? And are you planning on picking any of them up? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's Would You Rather question, I was inspired by the name Santa's Workshop. So the question is, would you rather give the perfect gift or receive the perfect gift? And for me, this is a very easy answer. I think I am the worst gift giver of all time. The more I care about somebody, the worse I am at giving them a gift. And I feel like that comes through every single time I get somebody a gift. I just never know what to get people. So if I could just give someone the perfect gift, that would be amazing. I would choose that every single time. I feel that I'm very easy to get gifts for because there's so many like little things I love. I love nail polish, I love books, I love candles, I love journaling supplies. So it's just like very easy to get me something. But I just feel like the more I care about somebody, the more I second guess what I would get them. And with my loved ones, I always end up like calling them or being with them, and I'm like, okay, here's what I was thinking, but I know you're gonna hate it. Is this okay? And then I kind of ruin the surprise of the gift anyway. So yeah, I'm not the best gift giver. I would definitely choose to have the power to give the perfect gift. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.